Hello everyone, my name is Mohit and today I'm gonna show you how you can use a simple and flexible tool which is called Sops, which stands for Secret Operation, for managing your secrets. This is an open source tool which is developed and open sourcely maintained by Mozilla community and as well as the open source contributor teams who actually maintain it. And it's really powerful tool if you wanted to encrypt your variables, or you wanted have some sort of environments, you wanted to make sure it is encrypted and completely stored in a private environments that nobody can access apart from certain people, and you want to manage your secrets, then this is the tool you should be looking for. It's completely free, open source. So what we're gonna do, in this video, I'm gonna show you with an small microservices example in terms of the hierarchy of the tables, how the whole architecture and the whole hierarchy of the folders works, and how the soaps can actually benefit you in those environments. So now, for example, so I'm currently open my VS Studio Code at the moment, and I'm inside my playground folder. Currently this folder is empty at the moment. So first I'm gonna create the soaps demo as an example. So I'm just go inside this soaps demo, and inside this soap demo currently it's also empty at the moment. So a few things which we required if you want to follow along this video. So first thing is, like, you have to be installed soaps, and once you install you can check the version you are using. So I'm using the latest version 3.7.1, and at any moment if you require to use the commands you want to check, you can just type soaps-help and it's going to show you all the particular commands which is required to use. So basically, what is a soaps? It's a secret operations developed by Mozilla, and it is used for managing your secrets in your microservices or in your application or in your code. How it actually works and how you can actually take the advantage of using this, we're gonna see in few minutes. All right, so we can see currently it's empty at the moment, and I also have Helm installed, so you can just check the Helm version. So I'm also using Helm because I'm gonna create a simple chart. So what we're gonna do now, I'm gonna create a folder called Kubernetes environment. So we created one environment called Kubernetes environment inside our soaps demo folder, and let's go inside this environments folder, Kubernetes environment folder, and I'm going to create the chart here. When you use the command helm create and you pass the chart name, and you can pass any chart names, it's up to you, whatever the names is convenient to you, and you wanted to make it standardized across all the applications or the microservices in your company, then you can go for that one. But if you want to use the same, just following around and play around with the Helm, so I'm just creating with the name my chart. When you run this command helm create my chart, it created some of the default things for you. Helm is a package manager for Kubernetes, and it provides us all the Kubernetes manifest and all the templates like the helper templates, deployment.yaml file, horizontal port scaling, encrypts.yaml files. So it provided all the basic files which you required for starting your microservices in the Kubernetes environment. So what we're gonna do now, we're not gonna focus on building a microservices at this point, but how that microservices uses the environment variables on that particular different environments, and how should you restrict those environment variables to the different developers in your companies. Sometimes, like if you have environment variables which require to pass the username and password of your databases like RDS from AWS, and especially if the data RDS you are passing here is a production level, you don't want to openly pass those values as a human readable form. because if you do that, it's a security concern, because anyone can actually manipulate those things and actually take the advantage of your username and password if you pass it directly. So we need to have some sort of a way to actually encrypt those environment variables. So that's what we're gonna do now. So we can see right now we have the charts, we have the templates, and what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna create one folder. So let's just go inside the my chart, and I'm inside my chart. At the moment we can see all the charts.yaml. So let me just create one folder called values file. Now inside this values file, we're gonna pass all the secrets in terms of environments.yamls, as well as the default.values file for based on different environments we have. So I'm going to create some of the basic environments like production, pre-prod, testing, staging, and development. So basically I created 5 different environments inside my values folder, and you can see the values.yaml file where from we pass the default environment variables, right? So now what we're gonna do, we go back from this one, because what we're gonna do inside now the my chart, which is our top level of directory, where we're gonna create a new file called .sops.yaml file. This is the configuration file in which we are passing, or you can say creating a rules, which actually is gonna use it to navigate to the different environments and see which user you want to give access to. What does it mean is that, so first let me just create a sops.yaml file, and so I'm using a VI as my Vim editor as a command line tool. So using that tool, I'm gonna create the creation rule here. So I'm just passing writing some of the basic syntax which you can see or followed from the SOAPs documentation. Let me show you, like where you can see. So you can see about creating a sops.yaml file. This is the basic YAML file if you wanna pass your keys or the particular folders where you wanted to encrypt or decrypt the secrets. So let's just first create the creation rules, and then I'm gonna pass regex, because the main reason for passing the regex, because we're gonna create the secrets.yaml file inside the particular the values folders under the development, and how the sops.yaml file get to know where is he has to look for that particular secrets.yaml file. So what we're going to do here, we are creating a regex, and I'm going to pass the regex like dot, as this is my top level directory where I am currently, which is the dot, and after that I'm going to pass like inside at my current directory, look for any folder. So it can be values, it can be templates, it can be charts, it doesn't matter. But when you go inside that folder, look for the development folder. So you're gonna go through all of the folders, charts, templates, and values, because these are the 3 top level folders we have. And inside these folders, you will start looking for the development folder specifically. Once we find the development folder, then he go inside and look for the any file. It doesn't matter whatever the file you want to pass it here, and then we're gonna pass the KMS keys. One thing which I forget to mention, like the SOAPs, which is the secret operation tool provided by Mozilla as an open source for managing your secrets, it is compatible to use with your AWS, Azure, HashiCorp, or GCP. All you have to do is like you have to store your secrets, or you have to just create your KMS, which is the key management service. So basically we're gonna create a KMS key, and that KMS key will gonna pass it to the SOAP so that it can be used for encrypting and decrypting your file. So for this video, I already created a CloudFormation template. So I'm just gonna upload the template which I created for the creating a symmetric customer managed key on the AWS account. So this is my personal AWS account at the moment, and I'm gonna name this key as my company name, and then I'm gonna pass the type of the service I'm using. I'm gonna pass soaps demo, and then I'm gonna pass the environment type, which is the development environment type. And so basically this CloudFormations, I already passed and created some of the parameters, like what services I should give allowed to this KMS key, and by using the symmetric default, which is the symmetric customer managed key, and I'm gonna selecting as an encrypt and decrypt. Encrypt and decrypt is by default is only supported for the symmetric keys, not for the asymmetric keys. If you want to use the asymmetric, you have to use the sign_verify. I'm currently in Australia, so I'm gonna select my country names, and the department is ID is fine, and the environment is currently development. So and the project name, it's soaps demo, and the service I'm demonstrating right now to you guys is as a service soaps. So all looks good to me. I already create a CloudFormation template, so it's working on the same way. So I'm just gonna deploy it. I'm just gonna create the stack right now, and once the stack is gonna created, I can show you the templates, like what this template is doing. Let me increase the size so that you can actually see. So basically I pass it some of the informations about my the parameters. So here I'm just passing all the parameters, so you can see about the AWS services, key specification, usage, and then I process all the services which I wanted, all the encryptions. I'm going to share this CloudFormation template which I created for creating this KMS key, the customer managed one. So let's see how it's working. So it's creating, but I think if we go to the resources, we can see. So we can see our physical IDs here. That means the KMS key is already in process of creation. And once we navigate to the KMS key, and one more thing, in my CloudFormation template, I only allowed the user Sharma as the owner, as the admin and the root of this account, and I only give him the privileges for encrypting a decrypt file. That means if somebody is who's are the part or the user of this particular AWS account, he's trying to encrypt or decrypt, basically decrypt the file, he cannot do that, because only the user who is allowed to do that at the moment is me as myself. So you can actually pass the ARIM role or the users you want to allow for decrypting your secrets depending upon your environment type. Like if it's a production environment, you don't want to share with everyone, but if it's a development or testing environment, it's fine to open for encryption and for decryption for to anyone. All right, so let's see how it works, how much is in process. So it's taking a little bit time because it's quite a little bit long, 1 to 2 minutes depending upon how long is your CloudFormation template. Mine is not much, it's only like 200 to 300 lines. So and also once it's gonna finish, I'm gonna show you how the outputs it's gonna look like. And this is the parameter tags which we actually pass it. So I believe if you go and see here, we'll see all the tags references which I passes. So we can see all the tags is already pass it as a references here, and I'm gonna use the aliases names. Okay, so I already got the alias name. It is up to you. You want to use the ARN or you want to go with the aliases. My suggestion is always use the alias ARN because it's more human readable for the people you want to demonstrate, or you want to make your lives easy for your company's developers who want to decrypt the secrets. So I'm just gonna pass here the ARN. So now I'm just created this file, and let me just gonna save it. So I already connected with this same AWS account in which I actually created this customer managed symmetric key, and we can see right now the soaps.yaml file, which is the default file I created with the creation rule, where I'm passing the regex as this particular directory where I'm currently at my current location. Look for any file it doesn't matter, whatever the file, whatever the folders we are looking for, but inside that folder you should have the development folder. And so we can see only the values.development folders. Now inside that development folder we are saying any file, doesn't matter, it's gonna look for the secrets.yaml or any YAML configuration file you will gonna create, and it's gonna use that KMS keys. And this KMS key is only allowed to the user Mohit Sharma, and I actually already connected with my AWS account at the moment, so I don't think I'll face any issue. So let's just go inside the values folder, and inside the values folder I'm going inside the development folder. And now inside the development folder I'm gonna use the tool Sops. So now this is the things we have to be careful, because Sops is a editor like a Vim so if you want to create your secrets, you have to use Sops as a command line tool. You can't use Vim or Nano for creating your encryptions of your environment variables. I'm going to show you what does I mean by that. So first you just type Sops and then whatever the YAML configuration file you want to create. So let's say, for example, I want to say my environment secrets environment, because these environment variables are actually gonna be used by your microservice or your project or whatever the application you are building. So once I'm gonna run this particular command is actually start looking for the .sops.yaml file, and it will see it's only I have allowed for development folder with this KMS key. So if I'm already connected and have the permission, and if the path is right, I can actually able to create this Sops secrets.environments.yaml file. If something wrongs, it will not gonna work. So let's see whether it's working or not. So it's looked like it worked, and it's give us the demo about like some of the already created information for us, but we don't want it like this one. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna erase all this information because I don't require it. Now I'm gonna create the environment, and inside the environment, for example, if you have you need to pass your AWS RDS instance username and password, and so for example you're using a SQL or any database, or you are using some of the informations which you wanted to share because it's a development environment, and you're fine if somebody's as a developer in your company is actually want to see what passwords or the informations you are storing. But for production or pre-production, maybe you don't want to share, so you can actually control based on the KMS access keys, like on particular roles and the users who should have access to this particular KMS keys. Currently, as I shown you guys, like from my stack, that I only give permissions to myself, so that nobody's actually apart from me in this AWS Insight production account have access to this key. So you can see I only provided access to myself, and even for the root access I just provided as myself as an access. So alright, so I'm able to provide it. So now I'm just gonna provide some of the RDS master username, and I'm just gonna share anything like admin and this password. These environments can be anything. It depends upon your application or your microservice you are developing, so it's not gonna be fixed. So I'm just typing anything, whatever I feel write it. So once you create it with the Sops, you can save it with the WQ as a save the files. Now inside the development folder we created this secrets.yaml file because of this path, because we allowed this regex for creation rule with this KMS keys. Now if I'm gonna see, and now if you push this code to any repository in your, like on Bitbucket, GitHub or GitLab or any source code management repositories to other developers, and they try to steal your code, they still can't be decrypted because they don't have permission to actually access for decrypting this particular environment files where you are storing some of the sensitive informations about your environments. So you can see I actually encrypted these files, this environment variables like my RDS user data names and the password with this KMS keys. And who are the people who can actually decrypt this one? It's only me at the moment because I actually decrypted. So let's just go inside the Sops demo and inside the Kubernetes environment, inside the my charts and inside the values, inside the development, and I can see only one YAML file. And if I want to decrypt, you need to be connected with your AWS account or whatever AWS cloud, your cloud provider you're using, like a GCP or Azure at the moment. So I'm just connected with my AWS account. I already have the permission as I shown you guys from the CloudFormation template which I created. So now if you want to decrypt, you just need to run sops-d and then you need to pass the file name. Once you pass your file name, if everything right, you can actually decrypt your environment variables. So in this way, it's the best, I'm not saying gonna be best, but it's a really secure way for storing your environment variables. And using the KMS keys, the customer managed keys, you can actually encrypt or decrypt your environments. So hope you like this video. The main purpose of this video is just to show you, while building your microservice or the application, how you can actually secure your environments, especially in the Kubernetes workflow. So this is whole demonstration is just to giving some kudos to the Sops communities for developing this beautiful information for the companies who wants to use Sops as their encryption and decryption tool. It's a great editor tool and it's compatible with all the AWS, GCP's, Azure, HashiCorp's products. So you can, irrespective of whatever the cloud providers you're using, you can actually use it for storings. Even for the vaults, it's actually supported. And I'm showing you with the particular each different environments, you can actually create the sops.yaml file or whatever the files you have, and you can actually encrypt it, your secrets inside this particular, using the Sops, using the KMS in our case. Hope you like this video. If you like it, just please share your thoughts and comments on my channel or on this video. I'll hope to provide you some more advanced content on related to Kubernetes and something related to Helms. And this video is just about security and how you can make more secure environments in your company. Thank you. Have a nice day.